time. It's free, but registration is required. According to the Alzheimer's Association, more than half of Black Americans believe major declines in memory and cognitive functions are simply a normal part of aging, rather than symptoms of Alzheimer's or dementia.
Guitar legend and Allman Brothers Band co-founder Dickie Betts has died at the age of 80. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer who wrote the band's biggest hit, Ramblin' Man. Manager David Sparrow told the Associated Press that Betts died early Thursday at his home in Osprey, Florida. He says Betts had been battling cancer for more than a year and had chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Betts shared lead guitar duties with Duane Allman in the original Allman Brothers Band to help give the group its distinctive sound and create a new genre, Southern rock.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Showers and thunderstorms expected through the early afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a high near 65. More clouds tonight will drop down to a low of 44. Sunshine tomorrow with highs in the mid-50s. Cloudy and colder Saturday night will drop down to a low of just about 35. And sunshine in the forecast for Sunday. A high near 56 is expected. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Friday, April the 19th of 2024, at 10 minutes past 11, we've got a temperature of 66 degrees with cloudy skies in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Now, it's time to talk on Teleforum on Beaver County Radio. 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, 99.3 FM, and beavercountyradio.com. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddie Crow.
Credit where credit is due. I'll be honest with you, at my advanced age, there's not a lot I look forward to anymore. It's just sort of another day. I spent all week looking forward to this. DJ Frye hosts the show. You come in once a month.
Once a month, Eddie.
We've done one of these, right?
This is episode 2, number 2.
I'm very much looking forward to it for a couple reasons. Number one, you do a really good job, and you're going to do a good job today. Number one. Number two, you are prepared. You show up, not just you, not just one guest, but 2 guests. Do you have any idea how much less that means I have to do? God bless you.
I'm here to make it easy on you, Eddie.
That's exactly your life goal. It's about good deeds, isn't it?
It's all about the safety of the kids and the happiness of Eddie Crow.
DJ, yeah. I'm going to tell you something off there. DJ Frye is my guest. It's Bus Talk. Please introduce your guest, and let's get to it, because it's really interesting to watch this. That's what I noticed the first show. I love watching you do this. It gives me a perspective that I don't get. So introduce your guest, and let's get going with Bus Talk.
Beaver County, welcome back to episode number 2 of Beaver County Bus Talk with DJ Frye. Today, I have 2 really good friends in the studio here with us. We have the CEO of Lincoln Park Performance Charter School, Mr. Patrick P.K. Poling, and back-to-back state champion, 3-time state champion head coach, athletic director, and the head coach, men varsity head coach, Mike Coach Bariski, with us in the studio today. So, gentlemen, welcome to Beaver County Bus Talk. Welcome to the Frye Transportation Studio, and welcome to WBVP Radio.
Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So to our listeners, as they know, we go each month, we visit a public school or just education in general here in Beaver County. So today we're here to talk about Lincoln Park. So without further ado, PK, tell us, our listeners and viewers, a little bit about Lincoln Park, the history, the enrollment, and where we're at today.
Well, thank you, DJ. Thanks for having us again. And make sure you keep me on time, because I could talk all day about our school.
I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about Coach over here.
Yeah, you better watch me.
We'll just get an official to put him in his place. But anyway, again, thanks for having us. Lincoln Park, in case folks don't know about our history, we're in our 18th year. We're a performing arts charter school, which is a public school in Pennsylvania. So we have to follow the same rules as every public school in Pennsylvania does. And, of course, we have to follow the charter school law as well. So there's a little bit more we have to pay attention to. But Lincoln Park, every decision I've made at Lincoln Park, I've been the CEO for the past 10 years. I was the first principal at the beginning of year 2 at Lincoln Park. I think they had some consultants helping them get the school off and running at the beginning. So I've been there for 17 years of the 18, and it's been a great experience. I was in public school prior to that, 20 years in the traditional public schools in over 3 states. So coming to Lincoln Park was definitely a little bit of an adjustment, but it's been a good time. And to talk about Lincoln Park, we have 7 departments, why kids come to Lincoln Park. We started out with 5 original departments. The performance arts are probably the most recognizable. Your theater, your music, and your dance, because those are the ones that people are used to watching on the stage. And then we have our more portfolio departments, portfolio-based, like your media and your writing and publishing department. But and then the second year of the school, or second or third year, we had a health science and the arts program, the Lincoln Park, which is currently it's up there. The numbers are up, and about 100 kids in that department. And then our most recent department that we added was pre-law in the arts. And what I'm going to try to do in this short period of time is try to talk about all the departments and what they mean in there. Sure. Some are easier to talk about than others because, I think the dance and the theater and the music, people have a perception of what that is. Sure. Most of those perceptions are correct, because most schools have those 3 departments. So,
what's the enrollment right now? And by the way, to our listeners, we have PK Poling here, the CEO of Lincoln Park, and Coach Mike Boriski from Lincoln Park today. And Lincoln Park is located in what I like to call the heart of Beaver County. It's a town that is near and dear to my heart, Midland. But PK, what's the current enrollment right now?
That's a great question, because our enrollment the first year was about 250 kids, and it grew every year until our highest enrollment was 796 in the fall of 2019. Of course, I don't want to bring it up, but we all know what happened in the spring, late winter and early spring of 2020. The pandemic started. So since the pandemic, our numbers have reduced over those few years due to more kids going to cyber schools, more kids being homeschooled, and a well-documented student population decline in southwestern Pennsylvania over the last several decades. But our current enrollment today is 675 students.
Wow.
And we have a really interesting number. We have a 96% retention rate at Lincoln Park, which we're very proud of. So when kids come to Lincoln Park, that's how many of them stay during the school year. We're very proud of that. So that's where the current enrollment is. And just to give you some background, we'll talk about this a little bit later in the show, will be the budget and the money and how Lincoln Park gets funded as a public charter school.
Sure. So what year is this since Lincoln Park has opened its doors?
Yeah, this is year 18 for our school.
18.
And it's been quite a journey. When our chartering district, Midland Borough School District, granted a charter back in the 2000s, and then they opened in 2006. 2007 was the first school year, and we're now in our 18th year.
Perfect. Now, you mentioned we're located in Midland, Pennsylvania. How many students do you think part of that enrollment this year live in Beaver County? How many true Beaver County students do you think you enroll right now?
Yeah, we're right just over 400 are from Beaver County.
400.
Now, again, we'll get into this later, but the other surrounding counties, we have kids from 9 or 10 different counties. Obviously, the next largest population is Allegheny County, but we have a couple other counties with over 50 kids from each county. And sometimes there's between 78 and 85 school districts represented at Lincoln Park at any given time, which can be quite the programming or the busing issue that it'll be a great thing to talk about on Bus Talk.
Well, it's DJ Frye again. This is Beaver County Bus Talk. I'm with PK Poling and Mike Boriski here. We're going to get into a little bit of the basketball, because I think that's what Beaver County wants to hear about a little bit, is how do you go back-to-back, Coach, back-to-back, and all this good stuff. But PK, before we transition to that side there, you mentioned the liberal arts. That's the bread and butter of Lincoln Park. Is that correct?
Yeah, the performing arts for sure. Because all the departments obviously are considered performing arts and in their own way, and there's different tracks within those departments. And again, it'd be easy to talk about each department for a long period of time, and there's a lot to it, especially some of the departments that people aren't as familiar with, and we can get into a little bit of that
And from what I understand, you have a couple alumni that are on Broadway and in some movies and some acting roles. And not only that, I hear there's some also that are in front of cameras and sharing the news around the country.
Oh, absolutely. See, hopefully we have a whole segment dedicated to talk about the success of students, because that's when I get excited, because it's all about students at Lincoln Park. I alluded to it a little bit ago, that every decision we make is based on what's best for our kids.
Right.
We have kids on Broadway. We have several kids in the music field, and I'm fond of the ones that are in Nashville, since I'm a country music fan. But we have several kids working down there on Broadway Street trying to make their niche in country music. But there's other genres that we have kids with bands, and Bonnie and the Mere Mortals, I just realized, is one of our. I just met. Reacquainted with one of our students, came to a master class in media arts, but she also has a band, so she came and visited our students.
So if PK Poland travels down to Nashville this weekend, what's the go-to karaoke song you're singing right now? You're down there to see alumni. What's your karaoke song?
Well, that's one thing we don't do. It's karaoke. It's all about live music, and that's. I'm not going to go there, DJ. But that was a nice try, though.
There you go. Perfect. Again, we're here with PK Poland and Mike Boriski here, and when we come back from our break here, I want to touch a little bit more on some of the different departments, and stay with us, because I think we're all excited to hear a little bit more about how do you go back to back with the state championship basketball team. Here at Bus Talk with DJ Frye.
Your home for everything in Beaver County. 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP, coming to you live from the all-new Frye Transportation Studios.
The Rochester True Value, located inside the Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard, is proudly serving the community. The Rochester True Value is independently owned and operated and has experienced workers who can help you with your home projects. The Rochester True Value has tools, products, and all the equipment needed for you to get the job done. The Rochester True Value inside the Shop and Save is open and ready to help with your home improvements. That's the Rochester True Value in Shop and Save on the Ohio River Boulevard.
J. Young Refuse in Industry is proud to be an integral part of Beaver County for the past 34 years. Featuring a wide range of recycling services for contracted areas, they are sure to help you get the job done. The J. Young Refuse team of professional drivers consistently exceeds safety and service throughout the day, while their customer service representatives take professionalism to the next level. Call them today at 724-495-6199 with any questions you may have.
What goes together better than pancakes and coffee? Hallowed Grounds Vermont Maple Nut Coffee, of course. It's a pancake breakfast in a cup. In addition to 30 great tasting coffee flavors, Hallowed Grounds Coffee Roastery of New Brighton offers a full line of specialty teas, gifts, and goodies. So don't delay, perk up your day. Call 724-582-JABA. Click hallowedgrounds.com or stop into the New Brighton store today.
Water, essential to our survival. Water. Do you know what's in your water? Water. Hard water. Discolored, funky smell, funky taste. What you gonna do? You're gonna call Lou. Lou Negley's Bottled Water and Water Treatment Systems. Is your local water company giving you grief about your rental tanks? What you gonna do? Call Lou. From the testing to the pre-engineering and installation, put your water and your trust in a company that offers over 65 years experience with the emphasis on local. Negley's Bottled Water and Water Treatment Systems, your local water experts.
Replacing or repairing that old garage door might be among those spring things you have to do this year. Now's the time to call Robin and her team at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. They'll have your garage door working like a charm, selling and servicing Beaver County for over 50 years. Electric Garage Door Sales, featuring CHI quality garage doors and LiftMaster garage door openers. Call Electric Garage Door Sales today at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
April showers bring more than May flowers. They bring more warm days to enjoy more ways to get out and discover everything that the Hopewell Shopping Center has to offer. With such a large variety of businesses that offer food shopping, fine dining, quick serve restaurants, personal services, exercise, and recreation, the Hopewell Shopping Center is your one-stop shop for everything that you need. Just click on BeaverCountyRadio.com, the Hopewell Shopping Center Merchant Directory for a complete look of merchants today, and get shopping the Hopewell Shopping Center way.
The warm weather is back, and that can only mean one thing. Pirates baseball for a 76th season is on Beaver County Radio. Make sure you set your radio dial to WBVP and 99.3 FM. Pirate baseball is being presented locally by the St. Barnabas Health System, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, Falcone's Moon Township Ford, Keystone Wellness Program, Friendly Federal Credit Union, Dr. C. Timothy Lip, the Beaver Falls Municipal Authority, Patriot Home Care, Town Square Restaurant, and Beaver County Radio.
Welcome back at Beaver County Bus Talk. This is DJ Frye, and today live in the studio we have the CEO of Lincoln Park, PK Poling, and three-time back-to-back state champion. You know what? Let's just jump in that, if you don't mind. And we're going to go back to PK, because I know we want to get into some of the finer details on some of the departments. But, Coach, back-to-back. How do you do it?
How do you do it? Quality players, dedicated players, dedicated coaches. Everybody's bought in. It's I don't know how many times it's been done. Not very many times in state of Pennsylvania, let alone the WPIL. But what did somebody quoted? I think the coach over at Moon Township said, "You really can't do it with the Jimmies and Joes. You have to have some players, but sometimes it's not really easy coaching talented guys.
Sure.
Because you got to mesh them together, and there's only one ball.
Right.
But these guys, great group of guys, had a lot of guys back from last year, and they were determined to reach the final goal. At Lincoln Park, it's not its arrogance. It's not that we're overconfident. You have to set your goals high no matter where you're at, and I don't care where you're coaching. So our goals are pretty simple every year. We have three of them goals for the team. Section championship, WPL championship, state championship. And not that if you don't achieve that, you're a failure, but those are the goals that we come into the season with. And these guys were focused on that, believe it or not, after the first one we won in 23, because everybody was back except one, and we were talking about, okay, let's do it again.
Sure.
And the great thing now is we got guys back again.
Sure, unbelievable.
So we're talking about, the old rebuilding or reloading, whatever it is, because we have a great group of 8th graders coming to 9th grade that'll be successful. And we have 3 guys back.
So for our listeners, we have this speaking right now is Coach Mike Boriski. And by the way, Mike Boriski comes to us today with a 296-49. Does that sound right? 296 wins and 49 losses?
Yep. Sorry.
And so let's talk. So this was the 2024 state championship. Let's rewind to 2023.
Right.
You won it, moved up in class, right?
No, we stayed at 4.
Okay, that's right. You
3.
stayed? Yeah.
We won 3 in 19, moved up in class.
That's right. You moved up in class. And then off of last year's team, you had 5 starters returning. And then obviously move up in class, right, this year.
We will move up in class.
Next year, okay. Yeah. Then you back-to-back.
Right.
And this coming up year, you got 3 starters coming back, right?
We got 2 starters coming back and 1 integral part of what we did. We played 7 guys last year, an integral part coming back. So theoretically, there's 3 guys coming back.
So that the old saying, it's reloading.
It is, but now we have. We try to do the same thing in junior high, 7th and 8th grade that we do throughout the JV and high school level, but we keep it really simple in the 8th grade level, really simple. So these kids have some exposure to do what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and the intensity of a varsity coach and a varsity staff rather than an 8th grade guy trying to just getting up and down the court and shoot the basketball.
And you often told me that before. It's about that feeder program that you have your thumb right on, and you're very instrumental in that and bringing them those young athletes up to your varsity level. I mean, you're really molding them to how you want them running up and down the court and program them the way that you need them to be programmed. Is that correct?
It is, somewhat. You can only do so much with junior high kids. It's like you're being a teacher at Lincoln Park. You can't feed them everything. You have to be a little bit at a time because their attention span, you have to understand that as 8th graders. So we do, we make sure they play fast, and we make sure they play man defense. and because that's what we do. So we don't try to do a lot of other things with them, and we make sure that they understand what conditioning is about, because we are the most conditioned basketball team out there. You'll see that if we start pressing at the first quarter, we're still pressing with 2 minutes to go in the game, and we're relatively fresh. So conditioning is a big part of basketball and a big part of what we do. Our kids have grown. I mean, look, here's another thing I'll tell you. We have to get to a lot of places. We have to get to all these big-time events we play in and all these schools that we play that are far away. And we don't get there without this wonderful person, Kylie, that works for in fact, that's your sister, isn't it?
That is my sister, yeah.
She helps me get everywhere. And without her, I can't get anywhere. I can't do anything. So a bus needs to be at Lincoln Park at a certain time. It's always there, and we communicate. So without her getting us a bus to go to Hershey, I'm not doing any of this. So shout out to her. But, that's part of the team. We have a team of players. We have a team of coaches. We have advisors. We have people that help us all the way through. And we're not doing it without Mr. Poling over here. I feel out of place here. I got PK. I got everybody has an initial. Do you have an initial? Do we got an initial, Mr. Crow? You got an initial back there?
EC.
We got DJ. We got PK.
EC.
So I should be something. But, so everything works together for everybody that's involved in the program. My assistants all have a specific duty with these kids. And now this season was over, and we're sitting in my office, and we're talking about what we can do next year.
Wow.
And hopefully that we're sitting here this time next year and talking about
absolutely. Well, let's stop right there, and we're going to pick back up here later on in this segment about some future endeavors. I hear there's possibly a big construction project possibly going on. So continue to join us here. We're going to go to a break. This is Beaver County Bus Talk with DJ Frye, and we have the two leaders here from the Lincoln Park Performance Charter School here.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas. For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County. Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com.
Thinking of what's good for lunch or dinner? Make it McDonald's with a hot and spicy McChicken sandwich available now for a limited time only. Enjoy crispy, tender chicken seasoned with a bold mix of spices, topped with shredded lettuce mayo, and served on a perfectly toasted bun. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com. Here's Curtis Walsh.
Good morning. We can expect cloudy skies today with a high of around 66 degrees. We'll have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. Human remains were found in an abandoned building in Aliquippa yesterday. Aliquippa police received a call around 11:49 a.m. concerning the location at 105th Avenue. Once on scene, Aliquippa police contacted state police who took over the investigation. Beaver County District Attorney Nate Bible said the remains were unrecognizable. The coroner's office is set to examine them this morning to try and determine the victim's identity. A missing woman that left Town Towers 2 years ago was brought up as a possible victim, although nothing can be confirmed until the autopsy is complete. Beaver County Radio will provide you with more details as they become available. A box truck caught on fire on I-376 yesterday afternoon. Witness video shows a fully engulfed Rent-A-Center box truck on the shoulder of the road. The incident took place between the Beaver and Brighton Township exits. Pennsylvania State Police say both lanes of I-376 were closed for less than 30 minutes. One lane was reopened once firefighters put out the fire, and the vehicle was towed away from the scene. A road closure has been announced for Route 51, the Rochester Beaver Bridge. That'll take place tomorrow. The closure was originally scheduled for today, but was changed. The bridge will be closed from 7 a.m. until 11:30 p.m. Alternate routes will be designated during the closure to redirect traffic, and appropriate detour signage will be in place to guide motorists. Delays and increased traffic volumes are expected. The closure is for the filming of the Paramount Plus series, Mayor of Kingstown, starring Jeremy Renner. New funding of more than $2.5 million from the Pennsylvania Broadband Development Authority will help expand high-speed internet in underserved areas of the 16th Legislative District, State Representative Rob Matzey announced. Matzey, who is chairman of the PA House Consumer Protection Technology and Utilities Committee, says the funding to Comcast Cable Communications will expand and strengthen essential connections for residents and business owners. Matzey played a key role in the creation of the Broadband Development Authority, which was established in 2021 to oversee grant funding and infrastructure deployment to bring high-speed internet to unserved and underserved areas of the state. Additional funding from Comcast will bring total project funding to $4.3 million. Alzheimer's disease is the 8th leading cause of death in Pennsylvania. A documentary on the topic debuts this Saturday in Pittsburgh. Here's more from Danielle Smith.
Remember Me, Dementia in the African American Community features individuals and families who are dealing with memory loss. Filmmaker and former Pittsburgh resident C. Nathaniel Brown says his aunt lives with dementia, which sparked his interest in talking with others to find out more about the disease and how it affects communities of color.
And the first thing that I found out was that there were over 100 types of dementia. And the more I learned, the more I realized how much it was impacting the African American community disproportionately. We're twice as likely to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease or some other progressive type of dementia.
The film will be shown at the Carnegie Library in Homewood from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's free, but registration is required. According to the Alzheimer's Association, more than half of Black Americans believe major declines in memory and cognitive functions are simply a normal part of aging, rather than symptoms of Alzheimer's or dementia.
Legislation that could ban TikTok if its China-based owner doesn't sell its stake has won a major boost as House Republicans included it in a package of bills that would send U.S. aid to Ukraine and Israel. The bill could be law as soon as next week if Congress moves quickly. The TikTok bill passed the House in March and has widespread support in both chambers. It was included in the House Foreign Policy package after negotiations with the Senate over how long Chinese technology firm ByteDance would have to sell its stake in the app. President Joe Biden has said he would sign it.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
Showers and thunderstorms expected through the early afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with a high near 65. More clouds tonight will drop down to a low of 44. Sunshine tomorrow with highs in the mid-50s. Cloudy and colder Saturday night will drop down to a low of just about 35. And sunshine in the forecast for Sunday. A high near 56 is expected. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Friday, April the 19th of 2024, at 37 minutes past 11, we've got a temperature of 66 degrees with cloudy skies in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Curtis Walsh on 99.3 FM and AM 1230 WBVP, also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Talk about what's happening in Beaver County or around the world on Teleforum. 724-843-1888. 724-774-1888. It's Teleforum with Eddie Crow.
It is that, but it's much more than that. On Fridays once a month, DJ Frye comes in and we do bus talk. I'm going to put you guys back on camera now so they don't think, people are watching figments of my imagination. DJ Frye is here. Patrick P.K. Poling is here. And Coach Boriski is here. And just sitting and listening to you guys talk, you're bringing me back. My daughter went to Lincoln Park. So what you guys are talking about, it's just a whole flood of wonderful memories. And DJ, you're doing a great job interviewing them. I'm getting out of the way. Keep doing what you keep doing what you're doing.
Well, we left off there talking about the tremendous success of the basketball program, and we wanted to kind of get back on track here, and we're gonna pick that back up here. But we want to go back to the CEO of Lincoln Park, PK Poling, and we were in the middle of discussing some of the highlights of the actual school, which is the program. So if we can pick back up on some of those programs and let us know why the students travel from hours away, and why everyone just seems to want to flock and be part of the rich education and tradition of Lincoln Park.
Oh, absolutely. And, everybody knows about the championships, and everybody knows about the great subscription shows that our friends at the Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center put on every year. But there is a lot going on at Lincoln Park. And before I dive into the departments, I'll take about 30 seconds. This is a typical week at Lincoln Park. So there's so much going on. And our kids are so busy. Our staff is busy. For example, this week, last Friday and Saturday night, we had what we called the One Act Festival. That was in the theater department. And we had 2 shows. If they weren't sold out, they were close to being sold out in the Black Box Theater. Great show put on by the students. And then this week, we had a piano recital Wednesday night. It went on for an hour and 45 minutes. You ought to hear those kids play the piano. And then last night we had our choir was performing at the Pennsylvania Music Education All-State Festival in Erie. We had our choir up there performing. We had 2 all-staters performing at the music festival up there as well. And we also, this weekend, we have 5 kids in the middle school that qualified for the National Academic Games Tournament in Atlanta. So that's a first for Lincoln Park. And to have 5 kids in our middle school with about 180 kids in our grades 7 and 8, having 5 kids qualify for the national tournament, our advisors tell me that's a big deal.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's just a typical week. And then tonight, we have the Thespian Society putting on Safe Stage Cabaret, and all the Lincoln Park students will get to showcase their talents, and they're going to donate all the proceeds to a worthy cause. So that's from last Friday to this Friday, with a lot of stuff going on. I mentioned the theater department. We have the 7 departments I already mentioned, but theater, I think people have a perception of what theater is. It's musical theater and theater straight acting. Musical theaters, the not only acting but the singing and or dancing along with that. A lot of talented kids in there. But I encourage everyone, if you want to know anything about Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School, go to our website, lppacs.org, and click on the department, because I'm cheating right now too. I have 2 screens pulled up. And for example, in the theater department, okay, everybody knows what theater is. Well, these are the courses offered in in the theater department: acting, costume design and production, dance, jazz, ballet, and tap. This is the theater department. Directing, drama, literature, improvisation techniques, introduction to musical theater, musicianship, musical theater ensemble, musical theater literature. I mean, and that's not an all-inclusive list. They also have play analysis, playwriting, screen and lighting design as well. Senior seminar, stagecraft. I can go on in the theater department. So again, and that's our second largest department. And everybody kind of knows what theater is a little bit, but there's a lot going on just in that one department. Tom Schauer does a great job with that department. He's been there since the school opened. Fantastic program. Our Media Arts Department, another one. A lot of people don't know how all-encompassing media arts is. It's the visual arts, like drawing, like we all had back in the day when we were in school. And we won't talk about when that was, but there's some tracks in media, and I think these names of courses will pique some interest if there's any students listening or watching the podcast later. But just in the theater department, some of the classes media, intro to design, digital photography, mass marketing, mixed media, 35 millimeter photography, commercial photography, photojournalism, painting, illustrating, printmaking. And again, I can go on and on. Portfolio figure drawing, fiber arts in 3D, video production, audio production, web series, gallery management, and on, just in the media department, which is our largest department, and 50% of our applicants every year apply for the media arts department.
Now, how many applicants do you get annually?
I'm glad you asked that question. I talked about enrollment dipping during the pandemic and post-pandemic. We stopped that decline last year, where we leveled off, and now this year we've had over we have a 14% increase on the number of kids inquiring about wanting to attend Lincoln Park and learning about the process. Again, all that information is on our website for anyone is interested in how that process works.
Sure. So we talked about student success earlier when we leading up to this, and I know you highlighted some of that there. Now, do we ever drag the basketball team in, or yourself, do you ever pop in one of those jazz classes and take a lesson?
Well, and that's a great segue, because I was going to start talking about the dance department, where they have modern dance and ballet, of course. And, we bring some master classes, and that's one way we expose our kids to all of the what's going on in the real world, if you will, from all over the country and world. That we bring practicing artists that are in that business in for a master class, and they'll spend sometimes a couple hours or an entire day, in some cases a couple of days with our students. So that's how we expose them to other artists in their field. But I've been after Mrs. Verba in the dance department. I keep asking her when she's starting line dancing, so you can see where my thoughts are going with dancing.
Is the line dancing better than the karaoke singing?
Not in my case, but again, hopefully maybe that's something I've been asked after. I told you I've been there 17 years. I bring it up every year, and we haven't added it yet, so I'm still working on it.
So go ahead.
If Ms. Verba's listening, hopefully she heard that.
There you go. So more about the dance program that you were going to touch on.
Dance is, and people have a perception of what dance is. It's one of the performing arts. It's not portfolio based, but very talented dancers. We've had students that are in those some of the national shows. Anne Barlene is one of our famous graduates,
and she's on Broadway.
Yes, and she's had a fantastic career. She came back, I believe it was last spring, and spent the day with our kids. So it's always great when our alumni give back to our students and our school by coming back and talking about their experiences, in this case on Broadway, and being part of shows that actually travel around the world.
Sure.
Not only the country, but around the world.
Perfect.
Which is exciting as well.
Well, again, this is DJ Frye with Beaver County Bus Talk. Today in studio, we have Mike Boriski and PK Poling involved with Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our show by talking a little bit more about the future of the basketball program and, more importantly, the future of education and in recruitment when it comes to Lincoln Park Performing Arts Charter School. Stay with us. Thank you.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Frye stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Frye Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their community's best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Frye Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
Your smile adds to your face value, and your teeth are so important to your life and to your good health. An expert in dentistry with many years of experience is Dr. Peter Montini. He and his staff in Beaver are able to help you through painless care. A free consultation with Dr. Montini could help you to decide on a new way of life, one that helps you to a better future. Call today. You will be glad you did. Smile.
If springtime at your house sounds more like a buzzsaw than a bird chirping, make sure the sweet music of a circular blade continues all the way until your project is done. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union today and apply for a home equity loan. Just like you don't want to let the bird feeder run out of seed, make sure you've got enough materials to keep your power tools humming too.
Why not let your home help with making sure the sawdust keeps flying all spring? 5-year home equity loans are available from just 5.49% with approved credit. After all, your home is the one getting the upgrade, right? Enjoy the sounds of spring at your house this year, whether it's a finch, robin, cardinal, or a cordless drill. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union, where the interest is in you. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
County Transit Authority connects you to where you want to be. The doctor's office or well-deserved shopping spree will take you to wherever you please. Safe, no fuss, leave the driving to us. Hop on, adventures coming your way. Beaver County Transit Authority, BCTA. Ride the bus.
With winter blues coming to an end, the Beaver County Transit Authority is excited to announce big changes are coming soon. We are reimagining and redefining how we connect Beaver County and can't wait to share it with you. Want to stay in the loop? Sign up for our email notifications at www.bcta.com or follow us on social media at RideBCTA. Stay tuned for more information.
Looking for a scenic place to take a leisurely walk with your dog, hike, or even horseback ride? Then look to the Beaver County Conservation District. The wetlands on the grounds offer ample birdwatching opportunities, and they're open to limited hunting during PA hunting season. The Conservation District also offers a large variety of programs, from agricultural help and lime spreader no-till drill rental programs to Chapter 102-105 permitting and everything in between. Chapter 102 became law following the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, designed to prevent a similar disaster from happening again. And Chapter 105 regulates how people encroach on our waterway resources. The district issues and oversees all 102-105 permitting in Beaver County. If you need help with your permitting or simply don't know if you need a permit, call the district or visit them online. Discover all the Beaver County Conservation District has to offer today.
Looking for home services? Call Patriot Home Care in Beaver Falls. Their staff provides company, conversation, and companionship to all patients, ensuring medications are taken on time, participating in fun community activities, personal care, meal prep, and light household work are all services provided by Patriot Home Care, all thanks to the hardworking and selfless team members. Call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or stop in Patriot Home Care, 1225 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls.
Welcome back to Beaver County Bus Talk. This is DJ Frye, and today in live guest in studio, we have Coach Mike Boriski and CEO Patrick P.K. Poland. Coach, on the break, we were talking a little bit about hoops.
I want to throw this out. Besides hoops, this is a little funny tidbit about Lincoln Park that a lot of people don't know. Well, we co-op a lot of our sports with Western Beaver Golden Beavers. So our football program, this is really 5 offensive linemen. They play 7 offensive linemen that come from Lincoln Park. 3 musicians.
Wow. 1
is in acting, 2 media, and the other one's in pre-law. So our athletes just don't come for, none of our kids come for our school for athletics. You know, athletics might draw some kids in because they do play sports. No matter what you want to say, a kid can play the tuba. If he plays sports, he plays sports. But Western Beaver is a big part of what we do. I am also in charge of the health science major, and I'm going to take Mr. Poling off the hook here for that. So, our major involves with all careers that are medically involved. We have 3 students that are now physicians. We have multiple students that are in medical school. And I couldn't even tell you how many students we have that are in nursing programs or in nursing. Some successful students we have from the basketball program. I have 4 students playing overseas, 4 ex-basketball players. So the programs, and I've been there since the start. I've only been the basketball coach for 11 years, but I've been the AD since the start. Great programs, great things we do. All the way across the board, just not basketball. Our kids are champions. On May 7th, we're having a parade of champions, just not celebrating the state championship, but all of our champions. And, we got to come back to talk about more things that are great at Lincoln Park, but I'll turn this back over to PK.
PK, we talked about funding. It's that time of the year, so go ahead, pick up. Where are some of the challenges with funding?
Well, it's a big challenge for charter schools. I mentioned everything we do and how busy it is, and we do that with, on average, 25% less funding than a traditional brick and mortar school district. So 25% less funding means 25% less resources, 25% less personnel to deal with issues that come up in the day-to-day minutia of running a performing arts charter school. So it's a big deal, and transportation is another big deal. How kids get to Lincoln Park, encourage the listeners, go to our website, click on the transportation tab. It's a great resource that shows our hub system, how kids get to Lincoln Park from the 10 counties. But with that gets quite expensive. charter schools do not get reimbursed for transportation, as you well know, being in the transportation business. That has to change in the future because it's just not fair to our kids. Because if a kid from outside the 10-mile radius, and I'm getting into charter school law stuff that people may not be interested in, but we have to bus 72% of our kids, which is almost 500 of them. And when you don't get reimbursed for transportation like all the traditional brick and mortar schools do, that can be a huge challenge. And those costs have skyrocketed since the pandemic, and they just doubled this year because of the well-documented transportation, busing shortage and driver shortage across this country, not just in southwestern Pennsylvania. So that is definitely a challenge, and I probably can't make people listen on a radio show understand what that 25% looks like. But if you do a per pupil spending just in the schools in Beaver County, just to get us up to the district that spends less per student than any other of the traditional school districts, it'd be another $1.5 million into our budget to shrink that 25% less funding gap if we got up to tied for last in the county.
Sure.
Of course, we have, and we always compare to Beaver County since that's where the majority of our kids come from.
And Mr. Poland, I don't know if everyone understands this. We bus kids from everywhere.
Right.
I mean, our busing situation, DJ understands this. Mr. Poland was talking about busing. We bus kids from 2 hours away. So, if you come to Lincoln Park, we're going to get you there, and we provide busing. And no cost to the families. As is Lincoln Park, it's no cost to families to come to Lincoln Park. So, but it's still unbelievably expensive to run a school.
So absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. And just looking over the budget coming up, it's just roughly under $13 million, and with about 90% of that fund balance is funded by just tuition. Is that correct? There's no really much outside help from the state.
Yeah, we get some federal dollars, but it's around it's less than $150,000 in that neighborhood, depending on the grants that came up since the ESSER and the pandemic, and all that extra money came from the federal government. But without all that, we're in that range. But we get those few dollars. Our kids are our school's part of the free and reduced lunch program. So, in a lot of ways, we look and feel like a traditional brick and mortar school. But anybody interested in Lincoln Park will say we're anything but traditional. Right. We build an outstanding culture, and we always tell our staff every year, our kids don't have to come to Lincoln Park. They don't have to attend a charter school. So we have to make our school inviting enough for families to send their 12-year-olds, if they're 7th graders, and if they're coming from Hermitage or Bentleyville, and if you know where those places are, that's a long way to send your child. And if they're 12 years old, they're going to be in bus 2 hours each morning.
Right.
It better be a pretty special place, and that's what we try to strive by the people that we hire at Lincoln Park. And it's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
But we make it special.
I want to say, gentlemen, we could probably go another hour. I want to thank both of you. Coach, nothing but continued success moving forward. I know that's not going to be a pipe dream. And Mr. Poland, thank you for coming in, sir. Continue to run a top-notch school down there. And I want to thank our producer, Eddie St. Barnabas, and more importantly, all our listeners on WBVP Radio. This is DJ Frye with Episode 2 of School Bus Talk. We'll see you next month.
I've heard people refer to older veteran